He didn't hesitate when the question was asked. Can we give the younger generation a blueprint for success? He smiled. Sure, he said. Let's make it happen. The man sitting there was 78 years old, calm, sharp, still running companies, still buying businesses, still working every single day. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. When asked how much he was worth today, he waved the question away. Big money, he said. Not bragging, not hiding it either, just stating a fact, the way someone talks about the weather. Then came a more personal question. Have you ever been burned in business? Oh yeah, he replied. Plenty of times. He talked about people who took money and never paid it back. Deals that went sideways. Trust given too freely. But what stood out wasn't bitterness, it was acceptance. That's part of the game, his tone suggested. Then the real question came. What was your turning point? What made you want financial freedom so badly? He leaned back and said something that would become the backbone of everything that followed. I don't know what the word no means. He didn't say it aggressively. He said it matter-of-factly. He explained that when people doubted him, when they told him something couldn't be done, he didn't argue. He didn't beg. He didn't try to convince them. He just kept going. And later, when those same people came back wanting a seat at the table, he didn't let them in. People should never doubt what you can do, he said, because one day they might need you. Someone asked him if he had ever been broke. No, he said quickly, never. Not because life was easy, not because he was lucky, but because he refused to put himself in a position where broke was even possible. I don't want to be broke, he said plainly, so I don't live that way. Then he was asked a question that many people struggle to answer. What keeps so many people broke today? He paused, then gave an answer that made everyone laugh, until they realized how serious it was. People make their farts bigger than they should. He explained it with a metaphor so simple it was impossible to forget. There's only so much food you can put in your mouth, he said. If you try to shove too much in, you choke. In other words, people try to do too much, too fast, with too little discipline. They overspend, they overextend, they live larger than their systems can support, and then they wonder why everything collapses. When asked his age again, the room reacted with surprise. 78, he said. And yes, he was still working every day. Yes, I'm serious, he laughed when someone asked. He explained that retirement never appealed to him. He loved what he did too much. He woke up motivated, energized, curious. His father had lived to 101 and worked until he was 100. That's my plan, he said. Just an hour earlier, he had purchased another company. What kind of company? Someone asked. A car dealership, he replied casually, as if buying companies was as normal as buying groceries. Then came the advice he wanted young people to hear. A lot of people hoard money, he said. They work hard, make money, then lock it away in the bank like a trophy. They stare at it, protect it, fear losing it. But money sitting in the bank doesn't make money, he said. He talked about his early days, when he had loan books filled with debts, pages and pages of borrowed money. But he paid every loan back. And once he learned how the system worked, he changed his approach. Instead of letting money sit idle, he put it to work. He bought businesses, he bought assets, he reinvested, not recklessly, but deliberately. Scared money doesn't make money, he said. Then he corrected himself. Scared money is dangerous because fear doesn't protect you. It freezes you. Someone asked if he believed in God. I do, he said without hesitation. When asked how he knew God was real, he smiled. I look at myself today, he said. There were times I thought I could fly without wings. But something always stopped me from trying that. He believed there had always been guidance, protection, something greater than himself keeping him from making irreversible mistakes. The conversation shifted. Do you want to see inside? He asked. Moments later, they were walking through a building filled with things most people only see in magazines. Art, design, luxury. He pointed to a massive yacht. That's my office, he said, then casually added, that's my new plane I just bought. The yacht alone had been purchased for over $90 million. When someone joked about making an offer, he laughed. I already have two, he said, one for $120 million and one for $130 million. He wasn't selling, not because he couldn't make more money, but because he and his family spent Christmas and New Year's on the boat. Money had never replaced life for him. It was there to support it. He was already planning his next one, an even bigger yacht, 80 meters this time, built in an odd year because his birthday was odd, January 15th, 1947. Details mattered to him, patterns, meaning. He spoke about ordering a new plane, about slowing down, eventually. But even then he smiled. Maybe, his expression said, but probably not. Before they left, he offered coffee, water, hospitality, not as a power move, not as a flex, just as a man who enjoyed people. And that's when the blueprint became clear. Not from one quote, not from one lesson, but from the pattern of a lifetime. He didn't get rich by chasing money. He got rich by refusing to quit, by not accepting no, by keeping his ambitions proportional to his systems, by putting money to work instead of worshiping it, by loving what he did long enough to become dangerous at it. At 78, he wasn't slowing down. He was still building. And that may be the most important lesson of all. Success isn't a finish line. It's a way of living. And if you love the work enough, there's no reason to ever stop.